Before this video starts, if you enjoyed this video, there are many more like it already on the channel with many more like it to come in the future, so subscribe. I'm trying to hit 125,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I would really appreciate it. I upload daily on this channel, so if you're looking for some consistent basketball talk, this is the place for it. Also drop a like on this video, it only takes 1 second and makes a massive difference. So, what do you know? The Miami Heat actually won a game in this series, so I'm here to talk about it, and I actually got dressed for this one. So, a lot of things to talk about. I do want to say real quick before we get into it, I did release a video literally like 2 hours ago by the time you're going to be seeing this, and it's not doing well, and it's not going to do well once this video goes up. It's about where LeBron and Anthony Davis rank all time as a duo, so if that topic interests you, go check that one out. But with that out of the way, gotta talk about this game. So initially, I wasn't even planning on watching this game. Not even kidding. And then my dad was just like, "Are you gonna watch the game?" And I was like, "Ugh, fine." So I watched the game, even though I initially didn't plan to, because my dad asked me to. And it was actually, initially, the Heat got off to a good lead. So I was like, hey, this could be a good game. But as it was going along, the Heat started inching closer and closer and closer, and I was like, even though the Heat are playing well and Jimmy Butler is killing it, I feel like the Lakers are going to make a comeback. But they never did, and they got the game tied and even got the lead a couple of times, and it seemed like the momentum was going in their favor on multiple occasions, but every time the Heat fought back. That's why the thumbnail says how they fought back, because this game was really a battle for the Miami Heat. And in this case, the main reason why they won is the Heat seemed a lot more interested in this battle, or a lot more, they cared more about the result than the Lakers. And that's really the biggest factor. Because the Lakers are up 2-0, and it's easy to get complacent in that situation. When you're the Heat and you're down 2-0, you can't be complacent, because if you lose that game, the series is over. And with Jimmy Butler being who Jimmy Butler is and having that desire to win, then you're not going to be complacent in that situation. I'm not saying they were complacent in the games previous, but the further they had their backs pushed against the wall, the better they got. And that's a mark of a really good team and a mark of a championship caliber team. I don't think they're going to win this championship. We'll talk about that at the end. But this game was fantastic for the Heat, and specifically Jimmy Butler. I said with both Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic out, in order for the Heat to win a game, Jimmy would have to drop 40. He would have to be phenomenal. And he did that in this game. Shot 70% from the field, got to the free throw line, and hit 12 of those 14 free throws. He had 11 assists and 11 rebounds and like 12 assists. He got a triple-double with 40 points. Unbelievable performance. And he was throwing passes that's like, I didn't even know you could do that, Jimmy. Like, I know Jimmy's a good playmaker, but those were like some elite playmaker passes that he was making. And there were also other guys who stood out for the Miami Heat. Obviously, Kelly Olynyk. Last game that I did the commentary on, I said that Kelly was really good for a few minutes in this game, and then in game 2, and then detrimental for the rest of the minutes. That was not the case for him in this game. He was good the whole way through. Kelly had 17 points on 5 for 9 shooting, 3 from 5 from 3. He had 7 rebounds. He was hitting a lot of big shots. He even got a really big steal on LeBron James, so he played great. Tyler Hero did not shoot well in this game, but he had some clutch buckets and some timely buckets, so even though he was missing a lot, like he had a three-pointer that really swung momentum for the Heat, and then he had an and one on Rondo, it might have been Caruso, which pretty much sealed the game for the Heat. He also had a layup over Caruso, so he came in clutch for the Heat, even though overall for the game he wasn't great. And other than that, everyone else just kind of played their part. There was no significant guy who stood out, but there was also not anyone who played particularly bad. Duncan Robinson was shooting threes this game, like not having issues with not being aggressive enough. He was about as aggressive as you would like him to be, and the Heat just killed them on offense. And then if we could talk about the Lakers on the other end of the court, the Heat defense was good this game, but it was more just kind of the Lakers falling asleep at the wheel. Anthony Davis was not good in this game. He should not be shooting the ball 9 times. Now, I understand he had some foul trouble, which limited his minutes, but he still should be shooting the ball more than 9 times in over 30 minutes. Yeah, he played 32 minutes, and he was 6 for 9 from the field. Nice. And he was not also not there to impact the defensive end of the court. That was another thing for the Lakers. Their defense this game was not all that great, especially late game. There were a lot of times where help defense needed to come, and it just didn't. Jimmy Butler took advantage of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in the post. He took advantage of Kyle Kuzma at one point. He just kept getting these one-on-one matchups that he was clearly in a good position in, especially with how hot he was. And then no help defense came, and that really killed him in the end. And really, the clutch, what's the word I'm looking for? The execution in the clutch is what ended up being the biggest factor, because the Heat executed perfectly. The Lakers kind of fell apart. Anthony Davis was not aggressive. LeBron James completely passive in this game. Now, the narrative that LeBron James is not clutch is the dumbest one in the history of basketball, in my opinion. However, the one reason why I do think people believe that commonly is because LeBron can have these moments where he's being a little bit more passive than you would like, and you wouldn't see someone like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant be passive in these moments. Again, not often do these things happen, but when they happen, it's very noticeable. And this was one of those games for LeBron James where it's like, dude, your team needs you right now. You can't just keep passing it around the perimeter and getting it to Markieff Morris. Sorry, I confused them. I wonder why. They look exactly alike. That's not racist. They're twins. Oh, that was a stupid fucking joke. Let's see. So the Lakers didn't execute in the clutch. Heat did execute in the clutch. Jimmy Butler really took over, but really I think the culmination of everything for the Heat versus the Lakers in this game was how much the teams really cared about winning this game in particular. The Heat very much cared. They put their all into it. The Lakers were playing like it was a formality, and it absolutely was not. So the Lakers now going into game 4, they need to be a lot more aggressive and need to put their foot on the gas. Bam Adebayo is likely to return in game 4, and there's a chance that Dragic returns in game 4. The likelihood of that has not been confirmed yet. I'm putting my leg up because I put these Air Forces on for a reason. Outside of that, I mean, what are the Heat's chances of winning this series? I've been saying over and over, including in this video that I dropped earlier 2 hours ago, that I'm pretty confident that the Lakers win this series, and that has not changed. I predicted Lakers in 5 or 6. This could be the 5th game, or the one game that the Heat win, rather, and that could just be the case. But with the Heat having their second best player coming back, who's often their best player, that's not great for the Lakers. So going into game 4, what do the Lakers need to do and what do the Heat need to do? So the Lakers cannot afford to be passive in game 4. I think I've made that pretty clear. Also, Jimmy Butler needs to be guarded by LeBron James the whole game, and they need to know when to bring help defense. LeBron has been more committed to the defensive end in the last year, and especially in the playoffs. And this needs to be a case where he is fully committed to locking down Jimmy Butler, more so than he even really cares about the offense. Other than today, the offense really can just run through Anthony Davis, and LeBron can just be pretty good on offense. It was obviously not the case today because AD sucked today, and LeBron had to take over, and he didn't. But in game 4, let Anthony Davis be more of the offensive guy, and then LeBron take on the challenge of defending Jimmy Butler one-on-one, because if LeBron plays full effort on defense, Jimmy Butler is going to struggle a lot. That's a lot bigger of a guy than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and a lot more athletic of a guy, a lot stronger of a guy, just way better of a defensive option when he wants to put the effort up on that end, so he needs to do that. For the Heat, I just think continue to have this sense of urgency, because that's what got them this win. And then when you add Bam Adebayo into the equation, it could be a huge factor, and they could be a legitimate threat to actually make a comeback in this series. Now, again, I predict the Lakers to win this series, but it's not going to be as easy as a lot of us were chalking it up to be after Game 2. And the Lakers need to approach this series like they have a real chance to lose it. I don't really think they have a real chance to lose it, but they do have somewhat of a chance, and they need to act like it's a serious chance, because that lack of really considering that as a possibility led to this low-effort game for the Lakers. But as I said, the Lakers should win this one, and I do think this game, it seemed like LeBron, when he was heading to the locker room, didn't seem too happy to have lost this game. I think he's going to come back in Game 4 with a whole new passion to him. Sometimes he just needs to get a kick in the ass to be like, oh yeah, I should probably care. Anthony Davis, I don't expect him to play that bad again. Also, the Lakers shooters were not really hitting their shots, and that's a big thing for the Lakers because when they're hitting their threes, they're unguardable, and today they were not, and it didn't help that Anthony Davis had 15 points. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to support this content outside of just your like and subscription, I have a Patreon account where you can get some extra content. There is an extra 2K talk over there right now that you can get for $3 where I talk about coaching and why coaches are often fired in the NBA. You'll get 2 of those a month if you support me over on Patreon that are not on here, obviously. Yeah. Also, again, go check out that Anthony Davis-LeBron duo video. It did not do great because I kind of uploaded it in the middle of a finals game, which was pretty stupid on my part, but I was also late on getting it out. So, whatever. Just when this video is done, which it's about to be done because I'm doing the outro right now, go check that one out. But that is the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.